Virginia pride, Vermont's green hills, take it all in stride. Massachusetts traffic, we grip and we grind with a Dunkin' iced coffee and no peace of mind. So New England, stand up proud. Shout a thick way, shout it loud. From Fenway chants to Rhode Island tide, New Hampshire's climb, free or die. So New England, with Ian Brownhill.
Good friggin' morning from New England, folks, and welcome back to episode 53 of the So New England podcast. I am your host, Ian Brownhill, flying solo today because my co-host, RJ Travisano, is sick, unfortunately. So we're going to be rocking out without him, but he is here in spirit. All things life's better in New England. So New England podcast producer, Vinny G, behind the camera, making all the magic happen. And as always, guys, we try our best. We go out of our way. We do our due diligence, and we find you guys some of the best guests that we can possibly get on this podcast to represent our beautiful New England region. Now, since RJ's not here, I'm going to read his introduction for today's guest, and hopefully I can do him some justice. So here we go. Today's guest hails from the one and only Beantown, which some would say is the Mecca of New England, a melting pot of the sorts, and today's guest brings two worlds together as he combines his love for his New England roots with some good old-fashioned Southern hospitality. With hits like Country Girls and Ain't Trying to Be a Cowboy, our guest adds his flair to the genre that is already known for its storytelling lyrics and ballads that will knock your socks off. With nearly 100K followers between his TikTok and Instagram, our guest has toured all over the U.S. and even stepped overseas to share his music with our European brothers and sisters. And his music doesn't get you, and if his music doesn't get you going, his great attitude and funny jokes absolutely will, and he's a damn good dad as well. So without further ado, it is our great pleasure here on the So New England podcast to welcome Louie Bello.
What's up? What's up, kid?
Louie, God, we have been trying for a minute to get this going.
It's been a while, and I apologize.
You're a busy man.
We met like a year ago.
I was just thinking about that
with the fellas.
So where were that was at Gillette, but what was it?
Joe Andruzzi's
was it the Andruzzi Foundation?
Charity.
Awesome.
I was singing a couple songs. You guys were walking by, and
that was great. And we've been connected ever since, man.
Absolutely.
It's been a great journey watching you on Instagram, getting connected and learning a little bit about you. And man, I got to be honest with you. I didn't realize that your footprint spanned so long for such a long, successful career.
It's long.
Right?
I'll say, I don't know if should I say how long, but it's been long. It's been over 20-something years.
I know. That's incredible.
Longer.
That is incredible. Yeah. Well, congratulations to the success.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
And of course, thank you so much for making time today.
No, we finally connected. This is what we've been trying to do. So this is great.
I love it. And I tell you what, on a regular basis, you be asking the hard-hitting questions here in New England.
You like
getting
those?
The conversation going, and I absolutely love it. But before we dive into the social aspect of your career, let's get into the roots. Who is Louie Bello, man? Boston boy. Let's hear it. How did you get to where you are today?
Boston kid, born in a triple-decker in Jamaica Plain, moved to Hyde Park, spent like 25 years in Hyde Park, and my dad was a musician. So a funny story, I'll tell you this quick story because people ask me how I started in music. So I don't really play. I play a little bit of instruments, like just enough to write. I became a songwriter, but mostly I'm an entertainer. I'm just the guy that jumps around. I don't take my shirt off as much anymore. I don't go to the gym as much, but I used to do that stuff. But I'm the guy who jump in the bar, I get the crowd going. So I became an entertainer through watching my dad. But my dad gave up his dreams when I was born. So he had a chance to go to tour in Japan with his band. He had like a 9-piece horn band, and he stayed home because I was being born. So I'm going to say that I wasn't a mistake then because he purposely stayed home. I think if I was a mistake, he might have went. But so that stigma always carried with me as I like kind of dived into the music business. And so I kind of started singing and writing, and I realized you could pick up girls as a lead singer.
Drummer, I would imagine so. I've heard through the grapevine.
Yep, drummers and lead singers. I feel like are the two, and guitar players and bass players. Sorry, guys, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but I feel like watching the situation unfold for 30 years. I'm like, the drummers always getting hot chicks, and the singers always get chicks. The other guys get chicks too. Don't get me wrong. They're gonna kill me. My band's gonna kill me. But so I just, I loved music. I loved the feeling you got. Ended up going to school in Northeastern. I graduated from Northeastern graphic design, so I was an artist.
Oh,
Still
cool.
do some art here and there.
There you go.
Oh, yeah? What,
Yeah.
Northeastern? or just
not Northeast. Graphic designer.
As a graphic designer, yeah. So, and I did construction, did roofing, did everything I could possibly do under the sun to put myself through school. And when I got out, I got laid off. Art department gets laid off first of anybody in any business. I got laid off 3 times. Went back to doing construction and remodeling, and then I got sick one day. I got mono one day, and I was out of work for 3 weeks with no money.
Oof.
So I was like, I got to get a better job while I'm trying to do this music stuff.
Yeah.
I ended up doing teaching. I started doing substitute teaching in Boston public schools.
Oh, okay.
And I've been doing it ever since. So I teach and I travel and tour. So it's like, it just became this way of making money and actually connecting with the kids. And
Right.
it went from like, I'm just doing this for some extra money to like, I kind of like this. But I never wanted to commit fully. So I would just keep touring, and just the years kept going by, and I'm like, shit, I'm still teaching. Like, okay, I'm just going to stay teaching too, you know?
Yeah.
So it worked out. I was very blessed. So that's the short, there's so many stories went on in between, but that's like the short story of how I continued to do my craft and survive in this business.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, what draws you to music? And I asked this specifically because my oldest brother is a sound engineer, a music producer, and he went to Berkeley early admission when he was like 16 for guitar playing.
That's awesome.
So I grew up in a house where like my brother had a band in the basement playing 3 nights a week. I grew up listening to like heavy metal and rock like 24/7. Pretty sure that's why I have tinnitus. You know what I mean? By the time I was like 10, he had already blown my eardrums out. Shout out Patrick for that. Thanks, brother. And, but like, I just, as a fellow artist, although I'm not in the music scene, I'm always intrigued by like, what is that makes a musician tick? And like specifically you, where does that come from?
Well, we're all super weird. So, your brother's probably weird too. I'm weird as hell. Like everybody I know that's in the music. Cause you pick first of all, you got to love music, but then you pick a career in music. It's probably the worst career to pick as far as like the A and B, like the safe careers, and then like the what the fuck is wrong with you career. It's
seriously.
Music is like that.
So unpredictable.
So you got to love it. You got to love what you do, whether you're behind the scenes as an engineer or you're out in front with a guitar. You got to love like the feeling of creating. So like, you make an instrument make sound. It's like just like a little baby. You're like, oh, like you just like. It's like crazy. It's like when you drink your Dunkins on your stuff. It's
that's
like,
it, baby, right here.
That's right.
Got it.
That's right. You got the Dunkins. It's like you have that feeling of like euphoria for a minute. Like, and that's what music does to most people. That I think everybody, at least when you start out, for me, it was being on stage and seeing people react to like singing a good note. And you kind of like, it's like, it still weirds me out now sometimes. You do a show and people clapping and you're just like I feel like I just sang. Like, what the fuck? I just sang a song. Yeah. You guys liked it? And then you're like, oh shit, this is really cool. Like, it takes a long time to sink in, but when it sinks in, you just feel like there's no other feeling.
Yeah.
Than that. And then writing songs is even better because you don't have to sing in front of them. They're just streaming your song. You might get a DM and somebody's like, oh my God, that song just made me cry. I just lost somebody in my life. Or I'm at a party and we're all getting drunk to your song. It's like, either way, it's still that like, oh, that's so dope. Like, I did that. And I did it, and I didn't even have to be next to you and just like touch somebody. So it's what keeps me going, because otherwise, if it was like the financial aspect over the 30 years that I've been doing this, you'd be like, you would have quit 30 years ago.
Yeah. So would you say that writing songs is a bigger passion for you? Do you enjoy that more, or it's just like over your career, it's developed into that? Like you're kind of moved away from the stage to that.
It's developed into that because I still do my shows and I love it, but like, and
you were performing, what was that, Faneuil Hall the other day, right? Or outside Fenway? Where were you?
Fenway. We're outside Fenway, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with Big League Brian, the guy on the stilts.
Yeah.
Shout out Big League Brian. Yeah, Brian's funny, man. That's another whole character. You should have Brian on. He's been working for the Red Sox for like 30 years.
Really?
Doing the stilts.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's an entertainer and everything else, so we've become friends over the years. Mm-hmm. That gig there, like I started doing that in 2016, the street shows.
Okay.
So I got to go to all the World Series for free, like that we were in, and like,
oh, that's awesome.
Doing the shows when they were playing LA, and there was a rain delay, and like everybody from LA and the Red Sox fans were underneath right when the tunnel goes out when you first walk in Gate D, and so they set our band up there because it was raining, and like they had the fire department shut us down because we had LA people dancing with Boston people, and it was crazy. So
wow,
that whole thing has been a crazy experience.
Was this before the internet? Because I don't know if I've ever seen that before. LA and Boston people dancing together.
It was pretty cool, dude. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. We had a bunch of LA people, and when they played them a couple weeks ago in Loretta's.
Okay.
So I do a show at Loretta's every Thursday, and they were in for the game, and it was probably like, they always outnumber Sox fans, which is so weird to me. Whenever LA comes into New York, they always outnumber.
Yeah.
Maybe not now because we're doing good, But the last couple of years, but Loretta's, there was probably like 30 LA fans in there, and they were having a great time. I didn't even know like LA people like country music, so it was interesting dynamic of like what they knew for songs. So, because I was pulling out like my Dre stuff and everything, just because it's like, it's LA, and they were like, "No, play Morgan Wallen." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." I'm like, "Let's do it."
So when you do your shows, you do a majority of cover, or do you do?
It's a mix.
How does that? I'm curious. Like, I want to learn the levels of this. So, what's the thought process on setting up a set? Like, how you're choosing to perform? Is it based on the crowd, how everyone's like responding, kind of like a DJ would be, or?
It is. So because I've been doing it so long, I've been able to, and my guys are like top notch. So they hate me a lot of times because I'll have a set list, and then like third song in, like we have a talk back mic, so you just click on the talk back and only they can hear me. So we could talk crap about people in the front and stuff like that. Like, yo, did you see that dude dancing over there? You know what I mean? Like, and you just have to make sure your foot's down, because sometimes I've not put my foot down.
Put it to the PA to everyone.
Yeah. Yo, check out that girl in the red over there. And she's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh, sorry. Hey, how you doing?" It's like, it's fun. But I'll be on the talk back all the time. Be like, "Yeah, scratch that next song. Go number 7, and do this," because I'll see what people are reacting to.
Right.
But that's when I do my cover shows. Like when I do my original ticketed shows, like it's more geared towards just my originals, and we calculate the covers. We kind of know what crowd's coming, because it's like my real fan base.
Right.
So we have like 2 or 3 covers in there, 4 covers, but then it's like 10 originals. With the Loretta shows, where we're mixing the originals covers, it's kind of like you have that 30 song base to pull from, like a DJ.
Right.
It's not as easy like a DJ, but
you can just press play.
Yeah, so a lot of times they'll be stopping in the middle, and I just have to like work the crowd for like a minute while everybody's like,
tune in and
what was that song again? We didn't even have that on the list.
Yeah.
Jeez. They're talking to each other, and I'm like, you got it, let's go, guys.
Oh, that's funny.
You just got to big up the guitar player, like Matty Pizzone on guitar, and he's like, "All right, screw it, let's go." And he starts playing,
Just put him on the spot.
Massaging. It's massaging everybody.
That's it. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Now, when it comes to writing songs, how do you go about that? Because, like, let me put it out this way. I have always had a passion for creating like a music video in my mind that matches the lyrics.
Like specific lyrics.
Yeah, like specific lyrics. Like every time I hear a song, like I can visualize, I guess that's why TikTok is good for me. Right. I can visualize it like a movie. Like I have a music video, like boom, like ready to go. Give me a camera and I could give you something cinematic for this song. So I'm curious, like on the writer's side, where does it start? Like, is it a thought? Is it inspired by another song, a person, a story? Like
all of it.
All of it.
All of it.
Oh man.
It's like your own life. Like if you looked at my phone right now, I have like, I think I have 4,000 notes in my Apple, like 4,000 notes. And like out of that,
damn,
some of it's groceries. Some of it's, like my mother asked me to do something last week. It's like there, but then it's like, I'll just write song lyrics, summer, and then I'll have song ideas of summer. That's what my latest release that we just put out came from one of my notes. I just got an idea, and it was warm out a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, it's really nice out. Remember when we were kids back in the day? And I was like, oh wait, I had an idea for that like 3 months ago, and I rolled down and I was like summer, and I had like back in the day summer when we were kids, and then you take that idea and you write the rest of the song. So it's just basically about seeing things, experiencing things, and always writing them down. Because like Michael Jackson, they said, used to write stuff on toilet paper. I don't know if he did it while I was taking a shit or if he did it in his bed, but I have like people that used to work with Michael Jackson that would say like he literally like would just write stuff on anything he had if he had an idea. Nowadays we're fortunate to have it in our phone, so it's like you just got to be. And then one day you just feeling it, and you might say something I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, and then you like scroll through and you're like, oh yeah, I can add that idea with this idea, and I can create, your story, Ian's story. I'm going to create the story that you just told me into a chorus and into verses, and then that song might take a year to finish, or it might take a week. It just depends on how inspired you are in the moment.
Okay. So. Now, how does it go? So how does it work then with the music aspect of it, the instrumental, the beats? Like, how do you formulate that? I always imagined that it was like you heard a beat and it inspired you to write, but I guess that's more like, is that more rap or?
No, that's
like everything.
That happens too. Like that happens too. Like that's another process. Like you hear it's a melody or something like that. But like what I do is a lot of times nowadays is so I used to be a top line writer back in the day. So I used to write for Sony like way back in the day.
Okay.
And they'd put me with different artists and different writers, and sometimes country, sometimes pop, sometimes R&B. and sometimes they would give me tracks. So they call it a top line writer, because you would get a track and it would already be formed out. It'd have verse, chorus, and then you would have to put that counter melody on top and create the story on the track.
Okay.
So I did that for years. So like, that's how I kind of actually started learning how to write, was top lining.
Okay.
Because I wasn't a musician by trade. Like I said, I play a little bit of stuff, but I just went full force into performing and just kept going with, do what you're good at. My grandfather said, do what you're good at. So I kind of took that to heart, and I was like, all right, I'm good at this. So I learned how to write on, and that kind of helped me create melodies. And nowadays, like the last 10 years, since I went to Nashville, is like I have the melody, create the concept, the lyrics, and then I'll go to somebody who's a producer, like your brother or something like that, and I would say like, here's my melody, here's the idea. I want it to be country with trap, and then let them form it out, you know? And so that's what happens a lot nowadays for me.
No kidding. That is fascinating. I feel like I would be overwhelmed at the thought of like having to have someone else's work. Like the amount of people that are involved would make me nervous. And I feel like that maybe that's just because as a performer now, I do everything on my own. So the thought of like having to outsource and allow other people's minds to jump in and kind of the collaborative effort that you guys go through must be
it's hard,
a unique one,
because you do, as an artist, you do have this thing, right? And you have to like humble yourself.
Right.
I think being a writer, especially in Nashville, when I went to Nashville 10 years ago, so I was doing R&B and pop forever.
Right.
I liked country music, but I wasn't like deep into like 90s country or 2000s country. It was like, I met Sam Hunt one time at a Spotify event at South by Southwest. We were playing a show, so we couldn't get on South by Southwest. I could get on. It was called like the Gorilla Sessions or something like that. Somebody's gonna call me on this. I don't know if it was Gorilla Sessions but it was this other festival that was tucked in South by Southwest, and we were in town, and I got a friend invited me, and him and Leon Bridges were doing a show at Spotify. So I was with my friend, and she's like, oh, this is the next big country thing. This was years ago. He's Sam Hunt. He's country. This dude was singing R&B. I go, it's not fucking country, it's R&B. And she's like, no, it's country. And then as he sang, and I heard the hooks, and I'm like, oh, but that is country. But that is R&B. Like,
so Sam Hunt, is that the guy, Body Like a Back Road?
Yes, Body Like a Back Road.
You know, fun fact, I never ever listened to country. I was never a country guy. My wife put that one song on.
And it sold you,
and
right?
that sold me. And now top 3 artists got a country guy in there.
So we are connected by Sam Hunt.
There you go.
So that's the next
Actually,
guy.
Actually, we're connected because you got an Elvis shirt on. And my birthday is January 8th, which is the same as Elvis.
Yes.
My mom is obsessed with Elvis. And sometimes I think she did it on purpose, where she just waited to have me there. But not saying that I'm the favorite.
My aunt was a crazy Elvis fan. Like everything Elvis everywhere. We were just talking about the other night. So yeah. No.
What'd you think of the movie?
The one that recently came out?
Yeah, the one with
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler.
Austin Butler. It was amazing.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job.
The way they intertwined him going to Beale Street and then, like learning, like I think there's a lot of myths and there's a lot of like stereotypes about Elvis and like, you know, white artists and black artists back in the day and stealing music. But to be honest with you, everybody steals from everybody. Yeah. It's just been going on since the beginning. I'm sure Beethoven stole from Bach. I don't even know if they were alive at the same time, but they all stole from each other, right?
Of course.
Because like that's
is it stealing or is it inspiration? I mean, how many notes can really exist? Like, I think of the case, because Ed Sheeran is one of my favorite artists, and I think about the fact that when he was in court, he was strumming those tunes to prove a point that, like, you know, like this could be the bridge for any song.
100%.
So it's,
you ever see that comedic act from back in the day? They do 4 chords and like the group like sings like, I gotta find it on YouTube, but it was this funny thing where they do like 15, 20 songs with the same chords, and you're like, oh shit. Oh,
exactly.
wait. Yeah, it's true. It's I call it inspiration. People call it stealing, but I call it inspiration. It's one thing if you wrote a song and then I took it and just put my name on it, that's stealing.
Right.
But, you know, inspiration is like I heard your song, I heard those chords, and those chords made me want to write a song with those chords, and I changed it a little bit, but I write my own song.
Right.
To me, that's just being an artist.
Right. I think that's...
You're inspired.
And I've always thought, like, how many chords, how many beats really exist? And it's like, you're putting a flavor on it. And sometimes, too, it's like, there's so many good songs from the 90s, it's like, those songs shouldn't die. Like, if we can kind of revamp them and put a newer artist, like, what's one that came... the I'm Blue song.
Oh, yeah.
Right, like BB Rex or whatever.
Rexha,
she redid it, and it was like, this was like strictly like an EDM like club song. Yeah. But now it's kind of like a bop that you can play in the car.
I love her version now.
Yeah, like it's a good song. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know. So that just
No,
that came to mind. Now, here's my next question.
Yeah.
What is your thought on this whole AI stuff now getting involved in the music industry?
I was just going to say that to you because I got an email yesterday to be an influencer for Suno, which Suno is one of the big AI companies.
Okay.
That's what I used for our theme song.
Yeah. And so I'm going to tell you right now, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but because it's such a touchy subject, because if you use the AI programs as a writing partner and a writing tool, it's amazing.
Right.
But anybody could use it to just write a song. Like, write me a song about loving my wife named Laura.
Yeah.
And it'll make you a cool bop. And the production on the Suno AI is absolutely out of
Have
this
you
world.
heard the intro song or like the song we have? Do you have it?
that was from Suno?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like the so new, and
Yeah.
it's like an AI voice and everything like that.
I
It's
believe
crazy.
it because like that's it. The production value is so good. So I'm a fan of, you can't fight City Hall. Sometimes you have to learn to get into City Hall, get your agenda pushed the other way. So
Right.
AI is not leaving. I mean, the record company's trying to sue the people like Suno and all them right now because they're saying like AI programs can only learn off of things that exist. So they're saying that AI has learned from Morgan Wallen and Sam Hunt and Michael Jackson. And
Right.
so when they spit out arrangements, that they're all based off of something. But you go back to what you said about the court case there, and he played those chords. It's the same thing, though. I'm learning from listening to all these guys.
Right.
So one of my songs might have a thing that I subconsciously sing a certain melody one way because you just listen to thousands of songs a day. So I could see the case on both ways, but right now it's a great tool. Like, I'll write a guitar part and then I'll write my lyrics and you can pop it into Suno and you can get some production ideas.
Right.
And then we take those production ideas and I'm like, hey, what do you think of this to my producer? And he'll take it and we change it and we form. And then at the end, it doesn't sound like the Suno song, but it was like writing in the room with a partner.
Right.
So that way, if you're not in Nashville, you're not in a writing session with a bunch of people, you can still create.
Right. And yeah. So as a fellow creative, like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with
It's
it,
hard.
because I'm like, okay, this definitely is making my life easier. It's helped. I've never created a video like content idea inside of it
Yeah.
because I haven't figured out how to use it that way.
Me neither. Yeah, I can't.
But
yeah.
it's like, if this is going to give me an additional 10 to 15% ahead of my competition,
Absolutely.
why would I not do it? Right? Because it's a race. Like, you're trying to stay relevant in this industry in some capacity. So if you're going to be able to get ahead of the game, but it's like quite ironic that like the company that owns everyone's like, hey, don't do what we're doing to everyone in the industry here. How dare you take everything from us that we took from all of these talented people?
Oh my God. How about, dude, and how about they own like half the labels on Spotify,
Right.
but they're mad when somebody like uses a marketing company to market on Spotify. And I'm not talking about bots, but like now, like, so the way Spotify is set up is any of these, they call them digital service providers. So like TuneCore, or there's all these things that like, so I'll take my song, I put it in like a TuneCore, then TuneCore serves it to Apple and, Pandora and all that stuff. So if I went and got a marketing service that was legit, because there are some that puts me on playlists, they pay, like if you had a big playlist, they might say, hey, we got this artist, Louie, we'll give you $200. Can you put him on your country top 100 because you got 5 million fans? If they do an algorithm trace, and if they find out that you've done that, they pull all your shit down. But they're doing it with every one of their artists. It's a
Right,
fact.
right.
They're paying to have things put everywhere. So it's a hypocritical business. And so to get a leg up, to make a living as an
Yeah.
artist, you do what you got to do. Because it's not about ethical. I'm not stealing. You're not stealing. We're just using the tools that are out there to get fans. And if the fans like us, we don't give a shit about the record labels or the big corporations, because our fans are driving our pocketbooks.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a touchy subject, man. It is. It's hard to talk about. I'm probably gonna get shit for this now.
No,
people
it's
are gonna be
a
like-
unique conversation that I've yet to really kind of explore with anybody, because it's when you're doing what I do with the social media stuff, I'm not out performing concerts and meeting, like, I don't have a team around me. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I have Vin, who's available via text, but this is like my best friend. This isn't like a stranger who has his own personal agenda. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I haven't had to necessarily face the consequences of using this type of program or learning how to do that. So this is a very fascinating conversation to kind of open up about. I appreciate you.
You know how like ChatGPT kind of came out first.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, I did a writing camp at Johnny Cash's farm. Right?
Oh,
and yeah, it was awesome. Dude, I got invited to this camp. So they split us up into groups, and it was like a camp competition. So I had 2 guys with me, and everybody got split up, and we went in different parts. Like we were in his living room. It was crazy. Some people were out in the barn. He had old car storage. It was crazy. It was just like mythical to be up there.
Yeah, I bet.
And I'm sure he owned a bunch of places, but this was like the spot where like at the end he was at. So we're trying to come up with ideas for a song. And as a songwriter, back in the 90s, 2000s, like you had like the thesauruses. Were they the ones that like, or rhyming dictionaries?
Yeah, like rhyming dictionaries. Yeah, thesaurus would be a good.
Yeah, so you'd have those before the computers, right? Now I'm taping myself. So before computers came.
Even before the dial-up internet, which I just heard AOL officially stop their dial-up internet just this past week. I didn't even know it was still.
It was still on?
I guess. R.I.P. AOL.
Dude, trending. I would have bought that. I would have bought dial-up just to have it.
Just to have it again.
Sit there and just press and just sit back and listen to
just
it.
play that sound over him.
Yeah. It's like,
I wish I had it.
Yeah, add that. We'll add that in post.
But but like we were sitting there and we were like, hey, one of the kids said, why don't we use ChatGPT just to get some ideas? And the other 2 of us were like, I don't know, dude. Like that's kind of like cheating. And he's like, no, I'm just gonna say like, give me some rhyming words with like house or like I forget what it was, love, or what are some things that are like synonyms for broken heart or like, and which is what you would do. We would flip through a book if we had that back in the day.
Right.
Like what's sayings for this, and we did it, but we didn't use it. It was like, and this is like 4 or 5 years ago. So we got to the point where we were like, nah, and we trashed it all. And then we just wrote the song anyways, but it was like afterwards we were like, we should have just done it because like who's gonna like what are we gonna get slapped in the wrist? Then 5 years later,
the whole point is to like entertain people. So you're doing yourself a disservice if you're refusing to improve your ability to be like.
It's a pride thing.
Yeah, you know what it is too is I think that it's the same thing as now as an actor. I always believe that there's obviously a massive difference between theater acting and film acting, and I always say that theater actors are classically trained individuals who have a passion and a sole purpose for the art.
Yes.
Whereas film actors are people who are entertainers, people who like to act, people who are good at acting, and sometimes they cross. Right. Sometimes there's amazing theater actors who end up on film and vice versa. But just in general, when I think of like theater, I don't have that historical passion for Shakespeare to be on stage in this vivid monologue for 45 minutes. I'm more like how funny can we make the next 30 seconds in this film? Absolutely. And let's do like 15 takes until we get a couple of good ones. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
And I think that's kind of like the same thing. People who are kind of like, look, I love music. I love doing this, but I am an entertainer. ChatGPT might be able to advance me a few times, or having a thesaurus might be able to just level up this this bar here. Why would I not take advantage?
Everybody does it, you know, and it's just the people that like, because I also sit down, we write songs like in Nashville with 4 or 5 people in a room with a guitar. So we do all of it, you do all of it. So, but I'm telling you, it's a thing. Even talking about it right now, I feel a little like, it's just like thing in my, like acid reflux. Like,
feels kind of wrong.
Yeah. But if you break it down, it is the exact same process. It's like having a writing partner in the room to get ideas out. And I think that's the thing that if you use it in the right way, you're still being creative. You're still doing the exact same thing. You're having help with your thoughts. You're not saying right. I'm not. I mean, you could do this. I mean, because this is what the whole controversy is. You could say, here's the thing. Here's the song description. Write me a song. Produce it. And you could technically. It's still not advanced right now the way everything sounds good, because if you read the songs that it writes, you're like, nah.
There's something always screwy with it.
There's a computer writing this. So you always have to change, but like I'm using it, and most of my friends are using it as a tool. Yeah. And I think anything is used as a tool, man. If you can make money, listen, nobody's putting food on my table for my kids except for me.
Right.
So I'm going to put food on my table.
Right. I mean, listen, this is nothing new. It's new for us, but the advancements have happened for years. Think about the guy who had his donkey and his horse plowing his fields, and the tractor came out and he said, no way, I'm never going to use that. That's cheating. Right. Now he's probably got 10 John Deeres trying to keep the farm awake, alive. You know what I'm saying? It's like every industry goes through fluctuations. I just think that this is the first time, at least in my 33 years, where we've seen something in the art field. And I feel like art is such a sensitive subject because it's such an emotional genre of, I guess, existence, because art has survived all humankind
wars,
as we know it,
politics,
exactly.
Everything, yeah.
So I feel like that's why people are starting to be so sensitive about it. And I respect that. I do.
As
an artist, I get it.
It came so quick too. I think it just went from 0 to 100 so
First
quick.
time I heard something was when Drake was beefing with Kendrick, and
Yeah.
people started putting in Chat GPT
Yeah.
like replies. I was like, "Yo, you guys heard Drake? He killed them." They're like, "That wasn't him." I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh, that was like a computer." I was like, "I don't understand. He killed it. That sounded like Drake." They're like, "No, I'm telling you, it's crazy."
Yeah, you don't
Crazy.
know what you don't know anymore. So you got to, it's just it's the Wild West, man. But I'm coming out slinging. I got 2 6-shooters. I'm like, I'm
go.
getting that gold train. We're robbing that train next week. Let's go. That's what I'm doing.
All right, so let's talk about the music scene here in New England. Like,
Yes.
is there any particular thing that you've been like inspired by, or what is the music scene like as a whole been like and meant to you as a Bostonian and like growing up around here?
Well, I think growing up, to me, the music, I'm gonna sound like an old fogey now, but the music scene way back in the day was much better for creative artists than it has been. I think there's a little resurgence because you got a lot of singer-songwriters, but like I'm talking about Aerosmiths and all that, when it was really New Kids on the Block, like
Right.
those times were when like everybody came to Boston for artists. Like they were
Right.
looking for there was 50 boy groups on the corner, boy bands and girl groups, and then the live music scene kind of died a little because DJs and club stuff hit. I think it's the live scene for cover bands is really good right now. The original stuff is good, but most people move out really right away now, quicker, because they have access to things. Back in the day, you didn't know, you're like, I got to move to New York, and give everything up. I'm going to wait a little longer, and some of those talented people stayed here. Now they can see what's going on. They can plant seeds before they move and stuff like so. A lot of people start here and then they leave, but I think creative-wise, it's great to create your brand in New England. Like Maine, New Hampshire has some amazing acts. Rhode Island has some amazing acts. There's a group called Nothing Personal. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
No.
From Rhode Island, and so I book a lot of clubs in Boston right now too as a consultant. So I pay the bills.
Look at you, man. You
Yeah,
got
I'm-
your hands in everything.
Hands and everything. So I get to see a lot of these up and coming bands. Now, Nothing Personal, they don't do originals. They do just covers, but they are sick. So like for Rhode Island scene, like that's the band.
Okay.
There's probably other ones, but that's my favorite.
And what is it again? It's
Nothing Personal.
Nothing Personal.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have to look them up.
Yeah, so I think they do like Moonshine Alley and places like that. But so there is a great music scene right now. With Berkeley being in Boston,
Right.
there's a lot of original artists out there like cultivating their sound. But again, they stay for a couple of years and they bounce. So you really got to go out and look. There's spots you can see people, and you just got to take a hold of what you see and then follow them, because they won't be here long. And they probably won't ever lay claim to being here, which is weird as hell, because I'm so Boston though, dude. Like I grew up in next to the projects when I was a kid. Like I'm Boston.
Right. I love that.
Always. And
Got a rep.
yeah, but I've traveled the world. So I've seen everywhere. I've Nashville, New York, LA, Iceland, Finland, like Europe.
So awesome.
But I've always been home. So I always love coming home.
So you would say that performing in New England is still your favorite, or
No, not at all. No, I just like being from Boston.
You just like being- gotcha.
I love the people. I love the food. I love the vibe. But I mean, I performed at I performed in this. I can't remember the name in London. It's in Piccadilly Circus at this jazz club, this famous jazz club. Like this is like 7-8 years ago, and it was so cool because it was an accident. We had a show on a private ship, and we got to stay in London for like a week after the show. So it was like paid for the show, stayed in London, and we went to this jazz club, and we knew a kid who went to Berkeley, randomly was from England and moved home years ago, and he was like, yo, what's up? We're in this club, and it was what? So we ended up playing songs and stuff, and like that was the coolest because it was not planned, and those people were so inviting to us singing there, and they just watched, and that was probably one of my favorite shows. Just as a small show, there's only like 30 people in the room, but no, New England's fun to play at. But I just love the people. I love somebody telling me to fuck off, and knowing that they're usually not being an asshole. They're just fucking telling me to fuck off. Like, I mean, it's such a true thing about New England that you don't get that anywhere else. And I've used it to my advantage. If I'm in Nashville and I'm just being me, you meet 10 people in the room. If you're just some kid from like Kansas walking in the room that's just talking, and again, no offense to people from Kansas. I don't know a lot of them, but I'm sure.
From Kansas.
I don't know.
Never
I
met
know
a single one.
Dorothy, maybe. Dorothy was from Kansas. That's it. That's the only one.
Shout out Dorothy.
Shout out Dorothy. You got to put it in no place like home.
Yeah, exactly.
Right there. But there's something about just having that New England thing that just pulls people in. So I don't know. That's just me. I'm a homeboy. Like,
I love
when it comes
that.
to that. So
I love that. Now, let me ask you something. Maybe, I don't know if you have the answer to something like this, but you know what I've always noticed? Nobody that has an accent from around the world has an accent when they sing. Why is that?
no,
Like Irish singers, people from Australia, like everyone sings in English. How is that and why is that? Louis Capaldi, great example.
Yeah.
Heavy English accent,
Would never
love
know.
that guy. Beautiful voice, but sings plain English. How does
Elton
that,
John. Sometimes you don't even know some of the songs he sings. Like, it's
how does that work? I don't get it.
I don't know how it works.
Is it like dialect coaches that teach you to sing without an accent?
No, I think for like artists outside the U.S.
Yeah.
they're mimicking their whole life, because American music, let's face it, it's the center of the pop culture musical world, right?
For sure.
You got
For
some
sure.
people in like, Ukraine right now, like just listening to like some Dr. Dre from like 1986.
For real.
Like that's just what it is. They love the music here. So I think when you got people that are aspiring to be artists and they're writing English songs, I think they're just pronouncing every R and every. So it just comes off like that, because it's funny, because then they'll start speaking like, if you ever watch like The Voice, like with any country, The Voice, I always watch it to see these other singers, and I'll turn it on and be like, yo, this kid's dope, and then they stop and they can't speak a lick of English.
Right. It goes, you're watching them sing an English song and then they speak
like
in German.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
What are they saying? Do they like them? Do they not like them?
They just learn to pronounce all those words because that's how the song is sung and felt in those syllables, so it's like you have to kind of learn that. But no, for me, like a lot of my songs, when I look back at my old stuff, I don't say my R's in like some of the like water.
Yeah.
Like I want to take you to the water, And
Yeah.
I'm like, so as I started doing country music, I was like, how do I transition without sounding fake?
Yeah.
Because like, if I'm like, singing a song about being down by the water, and then I'm like, all right, kid, let's go get some water after I get off stage.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't mix.
Yeah.
So I had to slowly meld that and make like come with a halfway point, because it's a craft, it's an art. So I'm singing a song. I don't have to be from Boston to sing my song.
Right.
So I just decided like I'm gonna own if I change some R's, and I do that because this song calls for it. But yeah, other people are just like, nope. Keith Urban, that dude's from Australia, thick as hell accent, and he's like singing like he's from like like New Jersey or something. I don't know,
Right.
like
It's
somewhere.
wild. Now, I'm curious, just because you've been in the industry so long, is there a part of you that has, I don't want to say jealousy, I don't think that's the right word, but is there a part of you that looks at social media now and think about the fact that when you were coming up in the scene, you had to network. You had to be out every single night in these bars, in these clubs, trying to network yourself to people, promote yourself. And now I feel like there are so many talented people out there that are labelless, but they're putting on these shows and they're getting seen overnight. I mean, at this point, I feel like my For You page is flooded with, at least, because I love listening to music.
Yeah.
I probably see 10 to 15 new artists on my page every single day, with originals, with covers, promoting themselves like they're on The Voice. Like, how does that make you feel as an artist? How does that make you feel as someone who's been in the game for a long time, and as someone who's still obviously in it and working towards, whatever it is you're looking towards? And I'd love to hear more about that too. So
It's not jealousy.
Yeah.
Because like,
and I didn't think it would be.
no, it's not jealousy or envy. It's like, I've always been like, so my grandfather, I'm gonna take this back to my grandfather.
Yeah,
right? So
bring
my
it back.
grandfather had 3 jobs. My other grandfather had, so I'm an Irish-Italian family. So my dad's Italian. so-
Shocker, Irish Italian in Boston.
It's so weird.
Who would've
I mean,
thought?
like my father used to carry my grandfather home from the bar, and he'd be calling him a fucking wop and a fucking guinea, and like, I hate you, and why'd you marry my daughter?
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Love
what
it.
Yeah, that's what we'd be doing. So like that was my father growing up. So like, but my grandfather was a custodian for Boston Public Schools. He had a Christmas tree lot next to the fire station in Jamaica Plain. He sold Christmas trees. He drove a cab, and he was a bartender. And so he did all that, and I grew up knowing he did that. Now that was like I was younger, and like he was at the later stages, but he was still working a job. My other grandfather worked 2 jobs. He was like a printing press. My family was like the printing business, so we worked in a printing press and then did other things, all in World War II. So I kind of grew up with that work ethic of always like working towards what you need and like talking to people. My grandfather was in like politics. He used to like, I remember he helped Menino when Menino was like getting elected way back in the 90s, right? He was like a big person on his campaign. So like, I just knew that you needed to speak to people. You needed to talk to people. So I was always trying to find ways of streamlining that going to events. Like I went to that, I was singing at that event like that we were at. Like, so it's just in my blood to do that. So when we got the tool of like using social media, I got nervous at first because I'm like, shit, I got to relearn to do my shtick all over again.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I got to look at myself and get a reaction. Because if I'm in a room, I can work a room.
Right.
Because I'm honest. I'm never trying to get anything from anybody but their time. I always say that. Like I tell people, like, you're just trying to get 5 minutes at a time from somebody. Don't talk to Ian because you want him to promote your TikTok reel. Talk to Ian because you want to find out, you think what he's doing is cool and become, create a relationship. And maybe a year down the line,
You're probably
you
one
talk
of the
about
only, if not maybe a very, very few handful of people that I met on the spot and willingly gave my personal phone number to.
That's cool, man. I
Like
appreciate
that's like
that.
it's like pretty rare, but like I just felt like right off the rip, I was like, oh, I know I like this guy. I can tell that he means well. I can see that there's a friendship, a relationship that I can build here. I'm cool with that because I feel like often people try and do that. So
They want something,
but
yeah,
obviously that's a testament to your networking.
Well, I appreciate
abilities,
it.
if you will.
I appreciate it. No, and it's just because like I know that it doesn't work the other way. I guess
Yeah.
because I did try it way back in the day. Like I have back in the day went to somebody and just asked them like, hey, I just need you to help me do this. Like I had to learn. I fell on my face. Like it wasn't just like I woke up like in the womb. I mean, I had the idea of what you do, but I fell on my face. I understood that if you're going to make a relationship with somebody, it can't be hollow. It can't be just for your benefit. You just have to create a network. I have a lot of friends I have friends in the industry I've never asked a favor for in 20 years. As I get older, I think I'm going to start calling her favors.
Yeah,
but
you got it.
I got to. But I don't, because I like meeting people. Like I just like meeting people and seeing like, what are you doing for a living? Like, oh shit, like, oh, tell me more about that. Maybe I can get into that. Like, I'm just like curious. So when social media came around and I saw all these people using it the way they were using it, of course I was like, I got a little scared, to be honest with you. I was like, shit, this is a different world. How do I do this? So I had to start, I would just put songs out all the time. No traction because there's a million people in songs. Then I started just putting stupid shit out and I was like, oh, I get more stuff if I ask somebody if they like Coke or Pepsi with a pizza, like 30,000 like likes on something like that, and people fighting with each other about pizza and Coke, and I'm like Pepsi, and I'm like, hell, I'm like, all right. So I had to learn, and I also learned the hard way that a lot of those people that you're seeing in your feed that are even have 1 million followers, they can't stream their song to 1 million people,
Right.
And they can't fill a bar in Boston. So there is a big
Interesting.
disconnect between somebody who has 1 million followers and 1 million comments for singing on their sites, and then, okay, go promote a show at Loretta's and 10 people show up. So this is where that whole, and you see this now, is where sponsorships and all this stuff, where for one time it was Wild West and companies were just giving people money because they had all these things, and now they're looking at like interactions and like, oh, he has all this, but how many interactions and everything. That's the same thing with singers now. So they're not paying these people to come into a bar anymore and giving them $5,000 because they're just not doing it.
Right.
And so now these people are screwed because they don't know how to network. They don't know what to do because they've been sitting in their room for 5 years making music and they sound great, but they're like, shit, well, what do you mean I have to sing in front of real people and fill a club? Dude, like that's what you got to do.
It's different than dropping these crazy notes in the parking garage.
That's what it is. That's what it is. It's like.
That's so true. And I've said that so many times when I've tried to work with brands where they have come to me and they've been like, oh, like, what do you think about like if we did like a pop-up? And I'm like, look, I understand that my number is very fancy to you, but these people who follow me for a particular reason. It's
Right.
30 seconds to a minute where I make them laugh and entertained. It does not mean that they like me at that kind of celebrity untouchable status where it's like, oh my God, Ian Brownhill, I'm going to go wait in line for 2 hours to have him sign my shirt and take a photo. Like, that's not what content creator and influencer fame is. And I think that same thing goes for music. It's like, well, you're very talented, but if I can just stay on my phone in my bed and put in the minimal effort, because it's like, going and meeting you for 10 seconds and spending $100 on a ticket and beer and food, like,
It's hard.
is it worth it? And I think it's like out of 10 influencers that have 1 million followers, there's probably only one who truly has that celebrity impact and it's usually young girls who connect with the younger girls.
Yeah. Or if you
Because
get like a
of,
Teddy Swims, like you get these anomalies that come, they push.
But look at how
through.
much work he does in the public eye, dude. Like,
he still does. Yep.
you know what I mean? It's like, that is
You
pretty,
have to do it all, and I think that's
Right.
where, like, going back to the original question, like, it gave me the excitement like the AI does. Like, it disappoints me. It depresses me when it doesn't hit. But when it does hit, it's cool. And when people come up to me and say, I saw you, you're funny. And I'm like, did you hear my music? No, you do music? And I'm like, you know what? I'm cool with that. Yeah. You don't even know I do music. I'm actually cool with that. You like my whole thing about Dunkin' Donuts? That's cool.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Because to me, it's feeding my soul as a creator first. And then second, it's allowing me an open door to figure out, like, how do I make money off of this? And I may not figure it out, or I may, but it gives me the belief that there is something next. I got a lifeline. It's keep giving me that lifeline. You know what I mean? And that's that. As an artist, you need a lifeline to build your business. And I'm all about business now because I got to feed the family. It goes back to that. So the passion of the music, putting food on the table, so I can just sit on my porch when I'm like 100 years old, which is not far away, and just look at the sunset with a couple of close friends.
I love that. Yeah. So do you have like a favorite venue, favorite country that you've performed in? And how does Nashville come into play? Because you're constantly down in Nashville.
I love Nashville. I went
never been before.
You got to go. It's awesome, and you got to pace yourself. Broadway is a vicious beast.
I can't wait.
So you don't drink, so you're like me.
Yeah, I don't drink. No alcohol for me. And I'm married, so I'm also like. So feels like it's the bachelor party of the capital of the U.S. at this point. So I'm like, okay.
It is.
My wife went for a bachelorette. She says she absolutely loves it there. Yeah. So she's been like, we definitely need to go. But she said a group setting is probably better than just like a couples, just because it's such a party scene.
Yeah, it's fun. You should go with a couple people, but then don't just get stuck on Broadway.
Yeah,
because that's the tourist trap. So the first time you go to Broadway, experience it. Most of my friends that go to Broadway ask me where to go. I tell them, and they tell me they never even made it to the second venue because they stayed at one, got so smashed, blacked out, woke up the next morning like 4 in the afternoon, had dinner, and went to one more venue, then flew home Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the typical, like,
You're listening, Vin? He's got plans. He's going in October.
You going?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you some good spots to go. Yeah. If you want to see good music. So I say pace yourself. But Nashville, I went for a meeting 10 years ago, me and my sister. There was a guy wanted to sign me and my sister as like a singing group.
Okay.
And
your sister sings too?
My sister sings too as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So we've always toured. We did America's Got Talent one year. We made it right before you get on stage as a brother and sister act. So we've always done that every once in a while, and we sing at shows together sometimes. But she does like straight R&B. She was living in New York for a while. Now she's back in Boston. But I went down with her for a meeting for the guy to tell us that we didn't have good stuff. It was awesome. Yeah, I was paid for all that money to go to Nashville and have him be like, that's happened more than once. So it just feeds my soul. Like, oh, negative trip. Oh, I love it. But it turned into being the best thing ever because I fell in love with the city. And then I fell in love with I went to see songwriter sessions and writers rounds. And I don't know if you've ever seen a writers round, but
no. It's
like 3 artists sit on a stage with a guitar. And each one does a song, an original, and the audience watches and listens. There's no covers. And I was like, yo, this is kind of cool.
That's dope.
I fell in love with it, and I came home. And then it was right after that I met Sam Hunt. And it was like all kind of came together. And like, I got to go to Nashville more. And I started doing it, meeting people, networking, and then just fell in love with country. And my country, I'm not going to, be the Beyonce of country where I'm like, my country's country. I'm like, nah, like my country's a hybrid. Like it is a hybrid. I totally agree. It's a hybrid of my country love and my R&B pop love. And we mesh it, and I'm constantly meshing it and finding ways to, because I love straight country and I love straight R&B. So I'm just like, how do I keep meshing it? And some of my songs sound more country than others. And I'm happy with it, and people like it, and maybe one day.
I feel like that's country nowadays, man. I mean, like, look at what's his name,
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen is a good example, but like, I'm a huge fan of Zach Top, but that's like very 90s country.
He's
Luke
dope.
Mahomes kind of teeters back and forth now and now and again with his music.
It's a mix.
And like Kane Brown,
is a mix.
Like a huge mix. So it's like there's a lot of successful artists in that genre.
I think they get away with it more because they're from the South. Like I think Kane Brown's like Atlanta or something like that, and like Luke Bryan's like. So I think they get away with it more. Whereas me, because I'm up here, it's harder for me because I'm coming from Boston going down north, and also I'm not doing straight country.
Right.
So it gets a little harder. Like some people are like, you're totally not country, but you can't. It's like online. You get haters. You get people. You just gotta You're like, whatever, dude. You like my song, you don't like my song.
You could probably post something. I mean, you'll probably post something about this. Someone like, he's not really from Boston. If he's going to Nashville, it's like, how Boston people are.
I did a post about Seaport, and I was walking across the Seaport, and I was like, just talking about how back in the day in the Seaport, when there was like 3 bars there, and I was growing up, there was like, I just made a joke of like, there's been stories about Whitey dumping dead bodies in the Seaport.
Right.
You should go back. I'll send you some of the things with these old timers on there who should be on TikTok anyways.
Yeah.
You ain't young. You ain't old enough to be from the seaport. Whitey never dumped a body there. What are you talking about? Go home.
What murder?
What murder?
He's a
What
good.
What are you talking
What are you
about?
talking about?
Yeah. Whitey was my neighbor.
Yeah.
He just owned a liquor store.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh my God. I love
like-
that. All right, let's jump into the So New England segment
All right.
here. All right. And
So
I like
New
to
England.
try and customize this. Oh yeah, you got the new sound. Let's hear it. The So New England segment.
I don't have a new sound, but
Oh well, hit the button.
I love it. I want to hear it.
Oh man.
uh-oh.
Oh man.
Is this an AI sound?
No,
you go.
that one's real.
The
that
So
was
New
real.
England segment.
I like it.
All right, I'm gonna try and customize it here because you're a
All right.
music guy. So tell me, what do you believe is the song that represents New England best?
Oh, jeez.
Let's be honest. Probably Boston, but
Good Vibrations.
ooh,
Mocky Mock.
Mocky
Kid.
Mock. Okay,
That's
kid.
Boston.
It's a good
right there.
vibrations. Okay, I wasn't sure. Now we have 6 beautiful states here in New England. Do me a favor and rank those for me. Top to
I
bottom.
had to look up on Google again what the
Just to
six,
make sure
what
the
the,
six,
what the
oh,
six
man.
states were.
That's
because
spoken like a true This
had
is
a-
my favorite thing about Boston folk, right? They treat New England like they are. When people say New England, they immediately think Boston. And Boston people are like, we are the center of the universe.
We are.
Meanwhile, Massachusetts is massive in comparison to the size of Boston.
Yep.
And then you ask people from Boston to rank the New England states, and they have to Google it. That right there is why we have a podcast called So New England.
I did.
Because only in New England, with the biggest city, the most important people in their world, Boston folk,
Yep.
not know all the states. I love that for you, Louie.
I had to.
All right.
I'm admitting
All right,
it.
so we
dude.
got Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire,
Well,
and
you know,
Maine.
you know what one's going to
Yeah,
be. You know what one's gonna
Massachusetts,
be.
of
Yeah,
course.
Massachusetts. I would say I think Rhode Island's my second. It's because
Okay.
it's closest. I mean, if you live close, if you live in the North Shore of Boston, you're closest to New Hampshire. So I would say Mass, Rhode Island, and then you got New Hampshire. Because I like going to Wares Beach and water
go.
country.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
anybody
okay.
that has water country like that could take number 2 just because they got water. Because Rhode Island,
I'm
lives-
from Rhode Island. I got us at the bottom, so
Yeah.
you don't got to justify it to me.
if Rocky Point was still around, I would say
Ooh,
Rhode
okay,
Island.
shout out Rocky
Shout out
Point.
Rocky Point, man. Clam balls up there and that big, it's awesome. All right.
Oh, okay.
Old school. But so we got Mass, Rhode Island, New Hampshire. Then I would say Maine. I've come to like Maine a lot lately because I played a lot of shows up there. Those people are just really amazing music fans.
Oh, I love that.
Then Connecticut. And then Vermont. I don't know. Vermont's like part of Canada. I don't even know if Vermont's. I don't even know if Vermont's. That's like the softest state. So we got that's the ranking for me. That's
I love it. I
Sorry,
love it.
Vermont. If I have fans of Vermont.
All right, well, you're a Boston guy, so that means you got a big opinion when it comes to sports, I would imagine. So give me your sports in order.
Oh, sports and order.
Yeah.
Personal sports is Bruins because I love hockey.
So
I
Bruins
grew
are
up
number
playing
1
hockey.
for you.
Bruins are number 1. I would say Celtics number 2. Red Sox number 3. Patriots number 4. For nostalgia.
Wow, that might be the lowest the Patriots have ever been.
Yeah, I love the Patriots.
Yeah.
But I grew up. My grandfather was like a Bo Sox member, and so when I was
okay.
a kid, I used to go to Anthony's Pier 4 in Boston, which is no longer there. Another well-known mafia spot, allegedly.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
But the Bo Sox, I met Roger Clemens in the 80s, and I met all these players. So I love the Red Sox, but so that's Fenway Park is my thing. But Patriots, I love the Patriots too. I do. Of course, that's our team. But I don't put them above the Red Sox.
Okay.
Because the Red Sox winning that first World Series,
Yep.
to me, is way more significant than the Patriots winning their first Super Bowl. That's just to me.
Ooh,
Way more
that's a hot-
significant.
That's a hot take right there, and I'd
To the
love to
state.
see what people say in the comment
Yeah.
section. What was bigger, the Patriots' first Super Bowl or the Sox in 04? You're saying when they
Yeah.
finally broke the curse?
Yeah, because you think about people lived and then they died. My grandfather literally died 6 months after they won. Not even crapping you he did. These
was-
motherfuckers,
you
they
just need to see
waited.
it.
They just waited and bated breath with all these. I just bought this Red Sox hat that had it's a 67 World Series edition on it. And I don't even want to wear it because I'm they didn't even win. But it's a really nice hat.
Yeah.
But it's so we held on to these almosts with the Red Sox for 100 years. Hey, we almost beat them. Bill almost got the grounder against the Mets. So it was when they won, it shook the whole, I think all in New England.
Yeah.
When the Patriots won, I went to that parade. It was amazing. It was awesome. But didn't have the same feeling for me.
I also feel like there wasn't as much pressure on the Patriots to win.
No.
Like when Bledsoe went down, we were all kind of like, all right, season's over. And we were like, hey, this guy is hot, man. This guy's good. Like we like this Brady guy.
Yeah.
And then when we were there, like even in the fourth quarter, Madden was kind of like, all right, you got a rookie QB, you got, 40 seconds left, you take the knee, you go to overtime, you shouldn't even be here to begin with.
Exactly.
And then it's like, then we won. We were kind of like, what just happened?
Absolutely.
So
No, 100%.
the fluke was there, whereas with like the Red Sox, it was like when we got to the World Series, it was like, this is do or die. Like this city is going to crumble if we do not win this.
Well, especially the year before where they lost.
Exactly.
I mean, it
That's what I'm
was
saying. Like it was just so much pressure.
Set it
to
up.
win.
It was like a movie. It set it up for us to be just like our hearts were either going to be destroyed for life or we were going to just like be in euphoria for like ever. And that's what it was. It was like even the rest of the Red Sox championships to me don't compare to that first one.
Yeah.
But, some people weren't alive back then. I happen to be alive forever, so I'm getting old.
All right, when it comes to Boston-based or New England-based influenced films, do you have a favorite?
Oh, The Town.
The Town? It's usually The Town. A lot of people go with The Town.
This girl from Canada came the other day. She was a guest at my show, that Loretta's, and that she was like, oh my God, you sound. This is what she said. You said, first of all, she said the most. I posted the other day. I go, what's the most Boston thing you've experienced? And she goes, you. And I started dying laughing. She goes, because you remind me of my favorite movie, The Town. And I'm like, get the
What a
fuck out of here.
compliment, huh?
Yeah, I was like, dude, I posted. I was like, that's you made my whole day. I'm going home.
Oh, I love that.
Like, The Town.
That's
it.
great.
That's it.
New England food. Is there a dish or a particular food that you think best represents New England?
I don't know, man. Being Italian, just spaghetti and meatballs to me.
Ooh, okay.
I just feel like
that's a hot take too.
Well, because
I mean, a lot of people say the Italian food here is good, which obviously it absolutely is. Rhode Island might even be better than the North End, but
I want to go to Federal Hill this weekend just because I want to I go all the feasts in the North End. I've been to Federal Hill before, but I haven't been in so long that I got to refresh my palate.
I will say, with respect to the Federal Hill people, it's not what it used to be.
No.
So there's a lot of other, and we can,
you'll have
so
to
I don't
give
have
me
to
some.
get called out on the spot
No,
here.
you'll have to text me some
I'll have
spots,
to text you some other spots that are going to have some pretty good Italian food.
Okay.
All right. Now, if there was something that you would say is the most overrated thing about New England, what would it be? And then what is the most underrated thing about New England?
Ooh. Well, the underrated thing is the kind-hearted folk in New England.
Facts.
That's underrated.
We really have the best people, even though
100%.
Even though the Hollywood and the world seems to think, I genuinely believe that the Northeast is the best.
No, it is, and you have to really be from here to be kind. I mean, there's a lot of transplants. That don't count as like New England people, but
especially Boston, you get it more than anywhere.
Boston, yeah. So there's people, the real neighborhood people, kind-hearted. Overrated is that's a good one. The most overrated thing in Boston is
It could be New England too as a whole. I mean, I know you.
I think a love of seafood. I think that's overrated.
Yeah, you think the seafood itself is overrated, or you just think that
No.
the
Like,
thought that like all we eat is seafood?
Yeah,
type of
it
thing?
starts like it's lobsters, like lobsters and oysters, clams. Like I like
people forget that it's like freezing here like 7 or 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So like we're only eating seafood for like 3-4 months when it's actually fresh and good.
Absolutely.
I
And
mean, true New Englanders will probably eat it year round, but like
well, when tourists come here, that's all they look for is the seafood, which I get because if you live inland, you don't have like oceans around you. You're not getting like
anything great.
No, so you want to come here, but it's like, hey, we got other food too.
Love it. How about the seasons here? Rank those bad Larrys in order. Winter, spring, summer, fall. What's the best?
Fall by far, because
Love
fall,
fall.
you still got baseball, you still got football, you got football, and hockey's about to start.
Yes.
So as far as the sports go, fall is the best. Weather's nice. I would say fall, spring, summer, then winter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. We got it. All right. I got one more for you. I gotta look down here because I'm working on some new ones here. If you could come up with one word to best describe New England, what would it be?
Word for New England. Well, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
One word to best describe New England.
I know the word I want to say, and I'm trying to go into my mental AI dictionary here to see if I can say it the right way.
ChatGPT, where you at?
Yeah, what's the word for adventurous?
Adventurous. I love that. Want to elaborate or just leave it there?
No, I just think we're willing to try things.
Yeah.
Whether it's beating somebody up for the first time or trying some new food. New England people are willing to try things.
That right there, folks, is so New England. We're adventurous. We're willing to kick your ass or try new food.
Yeah, exactly.
A sentence for the
Let's
ages.
go. And then sit down and have a drink later on.
Louie Bello, TM. Louie, tell everyone where they can tune in and listen to your music, follow you on your socials. new shows, songs you got going on? Give everyone the know.
Louie Bello on everything. So at Louie Bello pretty much everywhere. We got new songs coming. I just put a new song called Summertime. Not to reference Will Smith, but it does smack you in the face. It's a good beat. It's a good beat. But no, Summertime is a good song. Just came out, and I got some new stuff coming out. Working on a little movie. So if you follow me on socials, you'll see the movie stuff that's coming out. And just follow and have fun. I do stupid things online, and sometimes I sing songs. So
love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come down and jumping on the So New England podcast.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's going to conclude episode 53 of the So New England podcast. This is sad. It's the first closing I'm going to be doing without RJ. But please remember, folks, life's better in New England.
Red Sox